Hello, Math 140 students. We are going to pick up on page 6, section 2.2. So we have different types of equations. It can be either conditional, an identity, or a contradiction. So if I am talking about a conditional equation, it has one exact answer, so you have the variables equal to some number. If you have an identity, that means you have a true statement. So you have an infinite amount of solutions, and so the solution is going to be all the real numbers. So if you're looking on the number line, it would be like -10, -100, 0, 2, 10, 15, right? There's all the real numbers that's going to make it true. And of course, we can have a contradiction. That means we have a false, and there would be no solution. So two sides that are not equal to each other. So let's go ahead and do a warm-up together. It says, for number 1, classify the equation as conditional, identity, or contradiction. And we want to state the solution. So, so to solve this, I'm going to have to distribute that 7 into everything. So I have 7y plus 14 is equal to 7 times y, which is 7y, 7 times 2, which is a 14. So either you can see it here, where you can see that each side are both equal to each other. So both sides are exactly the same. So you have a 7y here, and you have a 7y here. You have a plus 14, and you have a plus 14. So they're exactly the same on both sides. Well, since they are exactly the same on both sides, we are thinking about all real numbers. So for part A, you're going to say that this is an identity. For part B, since it's an identity, you want to say it's all the real numbers. And so that is going to be my answer for number 1. For number 2, well, if I were to add 8z plus 8c on both sides, this will cancel. So -8 plus 8 is going to give me a 0. And so it cancels on this side as well, and you have a positive 9. So you're saying that 0 is equal to 9. But that can't be true. So both sides are different from each other. Well, since both sides are different from each other, then we are going to think about contradiction. That is a false statement. So for part A, we are going to say it's a contradiction. And for part B, since it's a contradiction, we are going to say it is a no solution as your final answer. Okay, now let's take a look at number 3. So for number 3, again, we are going to be solving for this equation. So I have 8 plus, and now I'm going to distribute that 3 inside the parentheses. So 3 times a is 3a, 3 times 4 is 12, and you have equal to 0. So here I can combine the 8 and the -12. So 8 minus 12, and I'm going to add 3a is equal to 0. So when I combine like terms, 8 minus 12, that's equal to a -4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So now I have that 3a is equal to a positive 4. So if I have 3a is equal to 4, then I'm going to divide by the coefficient, and that coefficient is 3. So I can have that A is equal to 4/3. So since I actually have a value, if I am looking at the type of equation, well, since I have an exact value, it's going to be this row. So for part A, you're going to say it's conditional. And for part B, the actual value is what you already found, which was A is equal to a 4/3. So that ends up becoming your answer. A is equal to your 4/3. And so that is the end of section 2.2.